YouTubers and cinephiles, welcome back to another edition of Nerd with Me. This time, we're doing Flicks Talk. I'm your host, John Ricky. So, there's talk that Arnold Schwarzenegger, after so many years of doing like politics, I love the guy. He's one of the greatest action heroes of all time. Not really a great actor, but he's a bolstering personality. We all know who Arnold is. And his movies were very good. Don't really care for his political standings, or rather his political party, but some of his standings I can kind of rock with. But besides that, he is a movie star. Now, ever since this whole political thing, he's come back to movies for the past 4 or 5 years, and he's made some pretty interesting moves. But let's face it, at least for me, what I wanted to see him come back to was the two major franchises that just put him on the map, namely Terminator and Conan the Barbarian. Now, let's face it, with the Terminator franchise and the Conan series, they haven't really been good as of late. Especially Conan. Conan hasn't even had one since 1984 or 85. But particularly the Terminator series started off good. The first two are classic films, bar none. They're one of the best films you've ever seen, or at least I've ever seen. And that coins the whole thing that made Arnold Schwarzenegger great. I'll be back. That came from Terminator, right? So he owes a lot to it. With that recent Terminator Genisys, oh my god, that was just a convoluted and just jumbled mess, but he was the best part about that film. With that movie, they really should have just been alright, let's just straight reboot. But I'm hearing that they want to continue with that story, and Arnold's back on the train. He's championing this continuation of a very messed up storyline right now, which I can understand. For Arnold Schwarzenegger, he wants to act. He wants to do this. But I'm also hearing that James Cameron might be back on the train too. I'm confused, because with Arnold wanting to continue it, I know it's because he wants to be in there. He loves the Terminator character, and he wants to continue with his. But I'm of the school of thought where it's alright, there has to be more than just the T800 model. There gotta be more. It's 800 models, so there gotta be X amount of whatever different models there were. I know they come off an assembly line, obviously. It's a machine, but come on, let's freshen it up. Let's get a new Terminator. And that brings me to another point, whereas Arnold was the original concept. If you don't know, James Cameron came up with this idea, or it might have been stolen from somebody. I've heard this, I heard that, but that's another story. But James Cameron came up with the story for Terminator, and the original idea was the fact that the Terminator blends in with the crowd. You don't know where he's coming. The idea is very horror based, because you're just oh, it's almost like that It Follows film that came out a few years ago, where you're I don't know where it's coming from. When you see it, it's too late. But he's supposed to blend in with a background, not supposed to be a hulking mass of just body that Arnold was at the time the first film was released. Matter of fact, when they were originally casting for the Terminator, they wanted, and this is gonna make you laugh or creep you out, they wanted O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson. But you know why they didn't choose him? Because they said he was too nice. Crazy now, right? After they nixed that idea, they were then going to go with Lance Henderson, who became better known as Bishop in Aliens, another James Cameron film. And he would have worked perfectly, blend in with the background, so on and so forth. But, gave him a small role as one of the cops and da-da-da-da-da. And the rest is history. It is how it is. Arnold's a big star, so on and so forth. But I digress. When I say conflicted about this situation, is the fact that hearing that James Cameron's going to be a part of it too, that got me thinking, okay, James Cameron's intelligent, maybe somewhat of a jag-off sometimes, but the man makes good films. And if he's coming on basically in like a producer role, or if he's directing, probably not, he's too busy with Avatar. I would think he want to get back to that type of feel, like the original feel, and reboot it with that having the Terminator be able to blend in. So that's why I'm like, ooh, it could be good, because James Cameron's there and he's going to steer the ship right. But hey, who knows? This is still like a rumor. I haven't heard about anything confirmed about it, so on and so forth. Anyway, back to Arnold being a part of this. It's like, dude, why? I mean, if Arnold wanted to come on and produce himself as well, alongside James Cameron, I think that would be cool. Maybe he has a bit part in the film, but I really don't think it should be a continuation of the story. I think it needs to go back to like low budget, maybe like at most like $20-25 million. They make a solid horror movie that could be also psychological. I mean, they could put a whole bunch of twists and turns, play with the timeline, whatnot, but reboot it and go from there. Maybe take the element of, Sarah Connor, Terminator comes back, chasing after Sarah Connor, Kyle Reese comes back too, so on and so forth, and she's trying to tell the world, and basically everyone thinks that she's nuts. So that's how I would reboot it, is combine 1 and 2, and Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and really congest it into one, where you're seeing her like maybe halfway through in the insane asylum, because they're like, oh my god, she's freaking nuts. Well, that's my take on it. All that being said, I'm just really curious, why are you going back to the driest well in Hollywood franchises? I mean, they haven't made a good Terminator film in forever, since the second one, even though the third one was, I like the tail end of it. Terminator Salvation was dull and boring, besides a pretty decent cast. And like I said before, Terminator Genisys was a jumbled mess. And right now, I think it would really benefit from being rebooted, like just a page 1 rewrite of the whole series. It's been long enough. You can redo it. Reboots are the thing these days. Go with it. Look, Arnold, Mr. Schwarzenegger, what have you. The only thing we really want you to do, you already took your shot at Terminator. Honestly, let's face it did not work out. Yeah, you got money in China or whatever, but the movie was not really good, man. Come on. Before you get too old, we would love for you to finish the circle of Conan. At least I would. Because the first one was amazing. The second one, oh boy, yeah. It was decent. For a sequel, whatever, back in the 80s. But come on, compared to the first one, it was garbage. But that tail end with the King Conan storyline, man, I've been waiting for that ever since. Ever since I first seen both of those movies, I've wanted to see a third Conan movie, man. And that really should have already happened like 20 years ago. Remember Call the Conqueror? Yeah, nobody does. Because that was originally supposed to be Conan the Conqueror. But instead, they got Kevin Sorbo to play. Nothing against Kevin Sorbo, but Hercules for life, all that stuff. But come on, man. It was a blatant replacement of Conan. But come on, man. Before you in the dirt, you're 60, damn near 70 years old. Let's see you have one last hurrah. Let's see an Unforgiven Conan style. I want to see that. I want to see Barbarian's version of Unforgiven. I think that would be amazing. It just would, okay? All these movie stars that are coming back to franchises that are actually half decent. Forget about Escape Plan. That's dumb. Actually, you know what? Look, if you and Sylvester Stallone want to work together again, how about y'all work on King Conan together? I just came up with this right now. King Conan, have Sylvester Stallone play the villain. Another king that wants to take over his throne. Boom. There's your movie. Game of Thrones style, except with more action. I think that would be incredible. Anyway, that's my rant for today. I just figured I had to speak on it. What do you think, YouTubers and cinephiles? You want to see another King Conan? Want to see another Conan story? You want to see them reboot Terminator? Might as well. But what do you think? Like, comment, subscribe to Nerd With Me. Can't wait to talk to y'all later, guys.